It's
Hi,
okay for you
hello.
to use
My name is
reference.
Andrew, and
I mean, there's no shame on doing it. After
hi,
color the
hello.
base color,
My name is
then I'm going to
Andrew,
proceed with
and
the rendering.
hello. Good morning. My name is Andrew, and I'm just doing a test run to see if I can make a video tutorial. And the one thing that you will be viewing later is how I managed to do this. I can't see it, so I'm just going to post it on the picture right over here. Alright, so some of you guys might be wondering how I make my illustrations / comics, and I'm going to show you on the process and how I do it. Again, this process is just my preference. There's a lot of... I'm sorry, I'm filming outside. So I'm going to show you my way on shading the color, on how I use layers. I'm using a Samsung Galaxy Tab A. It's 8-inch, so apparently the screen is not that big. They tend to crop to large stuff. I've been using this for 2 years now, and hopefully this video will be insightful. If you have any comments on this video on how I can improve on my tutorials, please do. And if everything turns out well, then I'll be making some videos on my YouTube channel. But anyways, let's get on with the process. So again, it's me, Andrew, and I might be showing you some of the things I do when I make an illustration. So this is the program I use. It's called an art flow. I've been using this for years, and as you can see, this is the thing I'm working on, Bella from Resident Evil. I already made an initial finished product of Dimitrescu. I will be laying it out after I'm done with the daughters. So what I do for skin tones, I always do a palette. These are the palettes that I normally use. This are the skin tones, and these are for the clothes. So I just lay it out right there. Now I have already completed some of the things right here. Now when I do skin tones, let's just go with the arm. So I got layers right here. So what I do is I make another layer so that it will not, I can color it without compromising the outline. Now I do a color picker. For example, this one right here, it's not too light, it's not too dark, it's just like a base color. And what I normally use a charcoal to do the shading part. So I shade like that. It's okay to be messy, you know, it's okay. There's no problem with that. Okay, now I normally use a reference, right? I'm going to show you the reference that I am. I can't see it, but anyways, it's okay for you to use reference. I mean, there's no shame on doing it. So what I do is after I've colored the base color, then I'm going to proceed with the rendering. Now, normally if I start with a dark first. So if I can't, let's see, like that, I use another color, but this time it will be on top so that we could hide the I want to call this the outline. And I use a smudger to make it more realistically smooth. Okay, now after that, I maybe something over here as well. There. It's okay. Oh, sorry. So I use a smudger again. It's also a good thing for you to know anatomy, because anatomy is once you know anatomy, you don't have any hard problems with it. Now, my hand is kind of unstable, so I use a smoother approach. So those are, because apparently these are like the light. The light is coming from here, so you always consider where the light is. Now, sometimes you need to do an opacity to lower it down so that you can smudge it all the way without like compromising this thing right here. And the lower the opacity is, the color would go down as well. You see the muscles are defined, but not that much. So we're gonna do that again. Now, if you will notice, the reason why I'm putting it on top, so that I could also hide the black lines that I have already drawn in. Okay. Now, on most comic books, they tend to have a power line. You know, this black outlines, which is cool. Yeah. But if you want to make it a more realistic approach, you want to hide those. Now, I'm gonna go darker again. Now I use this soft round marker. It's just like an airbrush. I tend to merge them because my application can't hold as much layers as I wanted to, but that's the workaround. So, for example, this one right here, you do like that, just to well define where the shadow is. Now, in shadows, it's not like you need to darken the entire bottom like that, right? No, it's not realistic enough. So what you do, I think it's a specular highlight, what they do. So I had to add another layer and then do it like that. See the effect? Because the light bounces. The light bounces like that. I learned that watching some of the YouTube videos, because the light is coming from this side, right? But also take into consideration that it also bounces. So that is where the light is, or where the highlight is. So just to make it more real. And then I just need to tidy up the things, you know, and then I'll always do that. I'll always try to imagine where the light is coming. And then as long as you know the anatomy, you'll have no problem like defining the contours of the said subject. Now, I think that is too well defined, as if it's like a bulge. So we need to cover that even further. Okay, I would recommend, if you are an artist and if you wanted to learn more about anatomy, I always look for Proco. I mean, that is the art video that I normally watch. Now, I merge all of these now because I just want to ensure that I eliminate the lines that I have established to make it more smooth. Now, I use the fine pen so that I could just lower it a bit. Oh, I almost forgot. I need to merge the base color as well. If you don't have a reference, you can always use your own. body part. Now, this is where you need to have a steady hand. Oop. All right. Now, yeah, the elbows. Sometimes you need to define the elbow. See? So I need to erase that. You see, if I erase that thing, it's not compromising the other colors because I have merged it and then made a new layer. Now, it doesn't have to be smooth all the time. Sometimes you need to have those hard lines so that you can define the actual part that you're trying to work on. That one as well. So, I'm sorry if I keep on panning up the because that's how I work. So I merge it again. Then that is where I'm going to define the elbow. This applies to everything as well. Like if you're drawing the chest area, that is all you need to do. Now, the shadow. Because normally this thing right here, if you're dealing with clothes, this thing right here, it will cast a shadow over there, right? So, what I do is I just put something like that, right? And then you smudge it. There's two reasons for me to doing this. One is for me to know where I'm going to erase the excess color, and then second, it makes it a little bit cooler for the shadow to be well defined. So I do it under that, smudge it, and erase the excess. Now, shadows the shadow shape will always be dependent on the shape of the clothes. So if this is what you need to do. You also need to consider the contours of the part of the arm, so it will make more realistic. It's not just like a straight thing. You will notice that I made a small curve there because this is where the other muscle is. So that is what I do. And sometimes I always, if it's too sharp, then you just use the smudger tool. The smudger is actually helpful if you want to smoothing things out. Normally, some artists tend to do airbrush. It'll have the same effect, but sometimes it's already preset. So it's better to manipulate. See, you will have the same effect as this one right here, but I tend to use the other brushes for me to meet the desired effect. So I merge it again, erase it, erase some more. Okay, so that, and I just need to highlight this even further using the soft round brush. Then there we go, and then erase the excess color paint. All right, so hopefully that would somehow help you on how to shade colors. So always, sorry. So just remember, always have your preset color palette ready so that you can just color pick it. And then second, you always use the layers. If your application is a trial version and you have like a problem with adding layer because they have some limitations out of it, you can just merge and then add a new layer, merge, another layer, and then always remember for the shadows, always remember where the light is coming from, because that will be your basis. So if the light is coming from here, the light, or sometimes here, you always remember that there is also a light coming from this direction. All right, so I hope this find helpful. If you want me to make videos on how to do stuff, and again, this is just for my own preference, but if you have your own preference, please do, like, share it to me. Might be making a video out of it on YouTube, but this is just a test run to see. I just want to get the feel of things, if my teaching prowess is good or not. So anyways, thank you very much for watching. Hope you learned something, and hope to see you in the next one.